There are 5 phrases you should know. Phrases that can make a woman feel drawn to you in ways she can't explain. At first glance, they seem harmless, just ordinary words. But inside her mind, certain words spark sensations that bypass reason entirely. She doesn't analyze them, she simply experiences them. Female attraction doesn't come from logic or argument, it comes from instinct, emotion, and a subtle chemistry that ignores rules or appropriateness. Curious, this is why a woman can have a stable life, a committed relationship, and yet still feel a sudden, involuntary pull towards someone else. It isn't a conscious choice, it's an automatic emotional reaction that lights up from the right trigger. Today, I'm going to share these 5 forbidden phrases. They speak not to her mind, but to her instinct, and the last one will genuinely catch you off guard. Think about the times you've tried to impress a woman and ended up with nothing. She lost interest, got stuck, or pulled away, and you were left confused, wondering what went wrong. Most men fall into the same trap. They either talk too much, over-explaining themselves to win approval, or they shrink back out of insecurity, giving nothing of themselves at all. Real attraction doesn't come from clever lines or smooth talk. It's created in your energy, in the way you show up, the way you listen actively, the emotional cues you give, and the confidence you radiate without asking for permission. Mastering this changes everything. If you find value in this kind of insight, hit like and subscribe to Feminine Insight and join a community of men who are genuinely evolving, growing, and learning the subtle language of attraction. Now let's dive into the phrases. Number 1, I'm not here to change your mind. I just want to understand you. When you say this calmly without any tension or neediness, it breaks down one of a woman's strongest emotional defenses. The fear that a man is always trying to get something from her. Her body relaxes. The tension fades, and she stops feeling the need to protect herself. You're showing her that you don't need her approval, that you're not competing for control, and that you can simply be present. Most men listen only to respond, but when you listen to genuinely understand, it opens a space where desire can grow naturally, quietly, almost invisibly. Number 2, I like the way you think. I wasn't expecting that. This one goes beyond looks or surface-level compliments. It touches her mind and her emotional ego. Instead of focusing on her body, you're appreciating her thoughts, her perspective, the way she processes the world, adding, I wasn't expecting that. Injects a spark of surprise and curiosity. Suddenly, she feels seen, rare, and intriguing, and her mind starts spinning, wondering what made you notice that in her. Recognition like this is powerful because so few people ever get it right. It creates an impact that lingers long after the conversation ends. Number 3, I'm not trying to impress you, I'm trying to get to know you. This flips the usual script entirely. Most men spend their energy trying to win approval, but when you say this, you position yourself as someone who chooses rather than chases. You're not competing for attention. You're evaluating connection. That shift alone sparks something deep inside her. Suddenly, she wants to stand out, to be noticed by you. This is the essence of reverse validation, and it works like magic. Deliver it with calm confidence. No tension in your face, no need to justify yourself, and she instinctively senses that you're centered, secure, and grounded, a combination she can't ignore. Number 4, you don't have to prove anything to me. These words communicate pure emotional safety. You're not asking her to perform, behave a certain way, or meet expectations. Instead, you offer a rare sense of freedom to be herself without judgment, and in a woman's mind, emotional freedom is closely tied to desire. When she feels this kind of security, attraction grows effortlessly because it's no longer about pressure or expectation. It's about the ease and space you create around her. When a woman senses she can be fully herself around you without fear of judgment or the pressure to perform, attraction grows quietly but powerfully. This feeling taps into one of the deepest triggers of human neuroscience: safety paired with mystery. Number 5, I know exactly when to walk away before losing my impact. This is the most forbidden phrase of all because it activates one of the oldest fears in the human mind, the fear of loss. You signal emotional control, independence, and the ability to enter and exit without creating clinginess. This instantly sparks anticipation. Her brain lights up with dopamine, thinking about you long after you've stepped away, creating a tension she can't ignore. Here's the crucial point most people miss. These phrases only work if they are backed by authentic energy. A woman isn't reacting to the words themselves. She feels your emotional state behind them. Calm tone, steady gaze, controlled breathing, relaxed posture. These are what give the words life. If you're anxious or seeking approval, she notices immediately. If you're centered and grounded, she responds naturally. That's why impact comes from being, not pretending. If this insight is helping you understand attraction on a deeper level, subscribe to Feminine Insight. And if you're ready to take the next step, my ebook, Secrets of Attraction, is in the description. It reveals how to build this magnetic presence daily without acting, without games. Because true power isn't faking confidence, it's living it. The way attraction works, especially between men and women, is much more subtle than most people realize. It's not about clever lines, flashy gestures, or trying to win someone over with words. True attraction starts deep inside the emotional and instinctive part of the brain. Women in particular respond to energy more than logic. That means the way you carry yourself, the calmness in your voice, the steadiness in your gaze, the confidence in your posture has a far bigger impact than what you actually say. Words act as triggers, but the emotion behind them is what sparks desire. Some of the most powerful phrases are forbidden because they bypass conscious thought. They don't appeal to her reasoning, they appeal to instinct. Phrases like, "I'm here to understand you," or "You don't have to prove anything to me," communicate emotional safety and freedom, letting her feel comfortable and curious at the same time. When a man can combine these words with authentic presence, without neediness, without forcing approval, he activates deep psychological triggers that create anticipation, fascination, and intrigue. Another crucial element is timing and space, knowing when to step back, when to listen instead of speaking, and when to let her reveal herself without pressure creates a magnetic pull. The brain responds to absence and presence differently. When she senses that you have emotional control and that your attention isn't automatic or needy, her mind starts to engage more actively. This is why phrases that emphasize boundaries, independence, or selective attention have such a strong impact. They trigger the subconscious fear of loss and the dopamine-based reward system, making her think about you long after the interaction. Ultimately, attraction isn't manufactured, it's felt. It's the interplay between emotional safety, curiosity, subtle tension, and instinctual recognition. When you embody confidence and calm, when you genuinely listen and respond from a grounded place, words become more than just communication. They become catalysts. Mastering this doesn't just make someone interested. It creates a lasting impression that taps into deep, often hidden layers of desire. It's less about trying to get a reaction and more about being the kind of presence that naturally draws attention, sparks curiosity, and keeps her intrigued. Attraction at its core is a language the brain speaks before words even exist. It's about energy, timing, and subtle cues. Women are wired to pick up on these signals instinctively, even when they aren't consciously aware of them. That's why a phrase alone rarely works. What matters is the emotional energy behind it. Calmness, steadiness, and centeredness signal security, stability, and confidence. When a man carries this energy, it creates a psychological environment where she can feel safe, curious, and emotionally alive all at once. It's this combination of safety and intrigue that ignites desire. Some of the most powerful triggers come from what's not said. Pauses, eye contact, and the ability to listen without interrupting communicate more than words ever could. When you allow space in a conversation, you create an unspoken tension, an invisible pull that keeps her engaged. Reverse validation, for example, is incredibly effective because it flips the usual dynamic. Instead of chasing attention, you show selectivity, letting her compete to be noticed by you. That subtle shift in dynamics activates curiosity, admiration, and even longing. Another key is emotional autonomy. Women are attracted to men who don't need approval, who aren't anxious or needy, who can maintain their own inner calm no matter the situation. When you demonstrate that you're centered, the phrases you use land with much more impact. Complimenting her mind instead of just her body, showing genuine curiosity without pressure, and knowing when to step back before overextending attention. These are the behaviors that transform ordinary words into powerful emotional triggers. Desire is drawn not to the line itself, but to the man behind the line, the energy he projects, and the psychological space he allows her to inhabit. Timing is another hidden element. Knowing when to engage and when to withdraw creates anticipation. Absence, when used naturally and authentically, intensifies desire. When she senses that your attention isn't automatic, that you have emotional boundaries, her mind begins to focus on you in your absence. Dopamine spikes, curiosity rises, and emotional tension builds, all without you saying a single extra word. This is why the forbidden phrases work so well. They don't appeal to reason, but to instinct, and they only succeed when paired with authentic presence. Now, I want you to share in the comments which of these phrases hit you the hardest or felt the most powerful, and keep this in mind, something most people never admit. Attraction doesn't begin with touch. It starts with your emotional state, with the energy you carry. When you've mastered your own presence, the right words flow naturally and desire shows up, effortlessly without you having to chase it or ask for it. That's the real secret. It's not about lines, tricks, or pretending to be confident. It's about being grounded, centered, and in control of your own energy. Once you do that, everything else falls into